Hi everyone, I'm Clam. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons to consider doing a master's abroad, and specifically in the UK because that's where I did my master's. I know a lot of people have done study abroad programs during their undergrad, but I don't hear as many people doing master's abroad. I think it's quite underrated, so I'm going to explain why. Let's just start with number 1. Doing a master's abroad in the UK basically allows you to have that whole study abroad experience as an adult in a later stage of your career. The last time I did a summer abroad was when I was about 20, and I started my master's program when I was 29 last year. I know a lot of people loved their study abroad experiences when they were in undergrad and have craved having that sort of experience again, or have felt like that ship has sailed and they can't really have that experience living abroad again with like having fun with friends and traveling. But doing a master's is a perfect way to have that experience again. A lot of people in my cohort, I think, treated the last year as a glorified grown-up study abroad experience. And the other great thing is that later in your life you have a bit more financial freedom. So I saved and lived at home for about 7 years before I left and was able to live pretty comfortably on my savings for the whole master's program. Number 2, it's way easier to live abroad in another country under a student visa. So if you've been considering trying to move to another country but don't really know how to get started, considering doing a master's is probably the easiest and most straightforward way to do it. It's a lot more difficult to rely on your company to transfer you unless you get very lucky, or going somewhere without a visa and then finding a job is doable, but I think carries a lot more risk and uncertainty. So doing a master's is a very surefire way to get a good solid year in another country without having to worry about looking for a job. It's also a way to go to another country for a set amount of time. Maybe you don't want to go to the UK for more than a year. A lot of the American students in my cohort had fun and did their program for a year in the UK for that international experience, and then went home because the job opportunities at home were more suited to them or better paying. Number 3 is that the master's program will give you new skills and some new learning opportunities to boost your career. Maybe you're feeling like you're in a rut or you want to learn something new. So a master's program is a great way to live abroad, but also learn something new and invest in yourself for like a good year or so. Whereas that's quite hard to do when you're working, and doing classes at night is quite grueling. So having that whole year to yourself to learn a lot and to experience like a different lifestyle, that's really cool that a master's abroad will let you do. Some common master's degrees that my friends have done or classmates have done and have pretty good career prospects are Masters of Data Analytics or Data Science, the Masters of Public Policy, Masters of Public Health, the MBA, of course, Statistics, and Finance Masters. And the great thing about the UK is that it's got a lot of internationally renowned universities. So there's the Oxford and Cambridge universities, but there's also UCL and LSE, LBS, and Imperial College London, and those are all very top universities that have a strong international brand. So you can be assured that you will learn a lot of new skills, and also from some pretty reputable universities that you can put on your CV to move your career forward. So even though you are not making income for a year, you will have a pretty good return after you graduate from your master's abroad. Number 4, doing a master's in the UK is usually cheaper than doing a master's in the US. I know it's different for every degree, but in general, master's programs I've seen in the UK can be about half as much as they are in the US. There are many top schools in the UK that offer master's programs for as little as £10,000 and no more than £60,000. The other thing about UK programs is that they are a year long, so you don't need to invest as much time and money to get your master's degree as compared to the 2-year programs in the US. Yes, the content might be a little more condensed, but I think if you're worried about financials and too much time away from work, a master's degree in the UK is pretty perfect for that sort of situation. Since my program was 1 year, I paid half as much as I would have in a US MBA program. The last reason and the fifth reason is that you get to meet new people from all sorts of international backgrounds. The UK, I think, is quite geographically well placed to be a central hub for a lot of different immigrants and people from other countries, versus I think in the US and San Francisco, it's quite isolated geographically. London and the UK will get a lot of immigrants from Africa, Middle East, Asia, and even Australia, whereas the Americas are a little farther from everything else. So even though you're in an English-speaking country, you meet a lot of people from other international backgrounds. The other thing about doing a master's in the UK, or a master's in general, is that you basically come with a ready-made set of friends or people you can be friends with. I know some people who moved to the UK with their spouses or not to do a master's, and they felt quite lonely and found it hard to make friends just moving straight into the country. Whereas in a master's, you have a whole community that's set for you to be friends with because everyone is here for the same reason as you. So I didn't feel that loneliness that a couple people I know felt, and so it made that transition to another country a lot easier. So those are the top 5 reasons to do a master's abroad in the UK. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.